Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera Beta. If you recall, if you watched the last episode, we had a bit of a bug here in dealing with these mirrors. There was a fight initiated that we couldn't get started. I have since tried reloading and going about it again and again and again, even leaving this area and coming back, and I cannot get that fight to initiate properly and allow us to complete it, so we are going to just skip it. Just remember, this is a beta, so bugs such as that are kind of an inevitability. That's the reason for the beta, to get things straightened out and polished. But before we leave this area, I do want to look at the bronze thing that we got in our inventory. At least I thought we got it. Oh, that's right. I've reloaded here. I haven't gone back through the mirrors again, so I'll just do that really quickly. Or maybe I did. I thought I'd gotten it. This is the capture ball. Oh, it's a quest item. Here we go. Bronze sphere. This is a small bronze sphere about the size of your fist. You removed it from your own head, where it had been transdimensionally stored. Okay. Do we use it? It says it's usable, but it won't let me use it. That's fine. Don't know what it is for. Does our journal say anything about it? Our journal does not appear to have any information about this, so I suppose we will head back to talk to the mapper, see if he can give us further information about how to find Matkina, as we found out is the apparently proper pronunciation of that name. Our spectre self in the labyrinth told us so. Let's go back to the underbelly. Okay. Alright, mapper is down here. Yes, I don't want any of your meat, friend. In fact, I probably want to go up and rest. But let's see what he has to say about what we found out for him.
Have you found it yet? Do you see with new eyes?
Yeah, I discovered the location, if that's what you're referring to there. He leans forward, and the blue eye begins to gleam more brightly.
Tell me about it,
he whispers. As you speak, Mapper stares at the exposed patch of flesh on his arm. New lines etch into his skin, unfurling themselves across the space. He smiles tightly and shifts in his seat.
Yes,
he mutters. He points to one line.
Here, in the void beneath the city. What's this in the mural?
He looks more closely at his arm and recoils.
Ah, gods, it's terrifying even from here.
Wow, your maps give you that much detail? That's awesome. He rubs at his skin, as if trying to rid himself of the mural's image. His blue eye looks anywhere but at himself, and he shivers, bone deep.
I don't envy you seeing that thing, friend. No, not at all.
He slaps his face a bit, bringing some flush to cheeks, and smiles again.
Anyway, I owe you a map, don't I?
He takes a big breath and says,
The White Death is hiding in a place called the Cave of Last Words. It's an old thieves' bolt hole. They say Chilia herself used it, but don't say where it is.
Okay. Oh, he gets a gleam in his eye.
I found it anyway.
Thanks, you've been much more helpful than any other person thus far.
There's one way to get to it, through the caravansary, but it's sealed tight, and I never found a way in. But you can get there from the underground. The Stitcher know. They dug there. They can dig there again.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mapper. You travel well as well, friend. So back to Chechik. And maybe this time I'll remember to try and tell them of a better place that their people can eat and find good rock. See. Can you tell me more about the Stitcha? Maybe that'll give me the option. Why do you dig here again? Okay, it looks like I'm not going to get the ability to tell them that since I went about the solving of it a different way. So can you take me someplace else, please? We are looking for a place called the Cave of Lost Words.
Jejic travel where egg friend want to go. We go.
Ooh. Hello, Matt Kenna. This woman's skin is white, the color of alabaster or fresh ivory. Flat black eyes surrounded by sharp, pointed features stare coldly at you. She wears jet black hair, cut straight at the shoulders. Her clothes are functional and drab. Her cloak is fastened by a necklace of 5 canisters, each of a different shape. She turns a black device over and over in her hands. She looks up, startled. "Who are you?" Her startled expression becomes a darker glower. A keen blade flickers through her fingers. You're sure it wasn't there a moment ago. "Where did you come from? How did you know where to find me?" Kalistag leans in close to you. "I wouldn't have thought it possible, but it appears we have found someone even more paranoid than poor Allegrin." Is it really important to know how I found you? Yes, because I need to know how to stop it from happening again. And if it means cutting some throats, it's no worse than I've done before. Like I'll do to... Wait, no. You're a cast-off. That wouldn't work. The knife disappears as quickly as it appeared. Her hand steals out and picks up that strange device again, almost of its own accord. She glances at your tattoo. How new are you? What are the circumstances of your birth? When did you happen? I was born as my body fell from an exploding moon. Huh, that bastard of a creator always finds a way to abandon us at the worst possible moment. Have you heard the stories of Tuck or Inferi yet? You should. What of them? She points her chin at your companions. If you think you can overpower me with mortals, you're mistaken. I didn't really think that. Oh, she is fascinating, isn't she? A wicked smile crosses her lips. Matt Kenna whips her knife in their direction. You have something to say to me. You're the one trespassing. Coming with a cast-off makes you more suspicious, not the other way around. Easy, my friend. If you trust me, you can trust them too. I guess she doesn't trust me, though. I don't trust you. That's the problem. But fine. She flicks her hand and the knife disappears. Disemboweling you would just be a waste of time for me anyway. She turns back to her workbench and picks the device up again. She spits on the floor and scuffs it with her boot, all nervous energy. So, what do you want from me? Yes. I'm going to lead up to the request here. Why are you hiding down here? I'm not hiding. Her rage is quick, hot, and palpable, and something about it makes your vision dim for a moment. I'm strategizing, planning. Why would someone live voluntarily in a place like this? She gestures all around her, and as her eyes break contact with you, her emotion leaks from her frame. This is where I stay. It's a bolt hole. Always has been. For those who know where to find it, even Chilia hid here, they say. Well, what are you planning? Her eyes flicker to her workbench, and then back to you quickly. It's nothing. I have a job to do, and I have my reputation to uphold. And by the Black Three, I'll hold it. That's all I need to say to you. She bites down on her lips, hard enough to draw blood. Okay, so you have a problem. I'm guessing you're trying to deal with the sorrow, though that may turn out not to be true. What can you tell me of other cast-offs? Self-absorbed, treacherous, leave a trail of misery and suffering. Shall I continue? Also, powerful, scheming, ambitious. Her smile is crooked and quick. But you want names, don't you? She barks a laugh that's half a sob. You won't get them from me, though. Not now. I remember Adris, and I remember the First, and I remember Tosh, and I killed Tosh for what he did to me, for the hole he cut in my memory. But that hole grew and grew, and... Her eyes flicker, and her cold gaze returns to you. This is more than you need to know. They're bastards, all of them. You as well. Well, I heard you might know who can repair a device I found in the reef, something called a resonance chamber. The resonance, a glint of understanding shines in her eyes. Ah, yes, of course. He would have hid it there. A crooked grin plays around the corner of her mouth and then vanishes. I know who can help you. Or did. She shakes her head. It slips away. My mind has holes in it. Tash took a rusty scalpel to my thoughts. My memories. I can't. She trails off. She catches hold of a table, and it seems to anchor her. Her eyes harden. No. You must do something for me. She caresses the black and jagged device, knobbed and protruding with antenna. You recognize the sigil, or at least a sigil, of the changing god on it. This is Tash's mirror caster. I want you to enter his mirror and find out what you can about the Jack. I'm convinced. That's the key. Okay? What is a mirror caster? Am I really the first one to say that word to you? Oh, you're in for a surprise, dear brother. Every cast-off has one. Just like every cast-off has this. She taps the tattoo on your head. No one knows what they're for. Idris used to think they were a byproduct of the transfer process. Just like us. She seems lost in thought for a moment. Then she shakes her head. Wherever they came from, they can be used like a kind of temporal viewer. You relive an event in the life of the cast-off whose mirror caster it is. That event is called a mirror. Okay? So, can a mirror caster be used to spy on other cast-offs? Not spy, but more like seeing pictures of the past, like watching them from outside at times when they burned or raged or changed. When their life was at a moment of flux, you can watch what they did like it was burned into their minds. Okay, so why can't you enter the mirror? Don't you think I've tried? She snarls with a sudden rage, her knife a handspan from your neck. Do you think I would waste my time with a newborn, a thief who steals into my home, if there were any chance I could do this myself? Her shoulders heave up and down with each angry breath. She blinks then, confused. Why am I angry? Did you? She straightens, flipping the knife back into her cloak. No, it'll be all right. Just find that damn Jack, and I'll tell you whatever you need to know. What is a Jack? You don't know? I thought it was a common instrument. No, No, it might not be so much anymore. One of the curses of a long life. She laughs raggedly. Fashions come and go before you even know they exist. Probably easier just to let them go, or make new ones of your own, like some of the other cast-offs. Sorry, no, not sorry. You should know this. You should know about things, history. That's what life is, knowing and doing. Matkina, you need to focus. Tell him what he needs. She breathes deeply. A jack is an ancient woodwind, and this one was kept in a sealed cave behind massive doors from a prior world. It had powers, but I can't remember what those powers were. Well, if the jack is a key, what does it unlock? Her brow furrows. Confused for a moment, she curses. If I knew that, I wouldn't need your help, would I? She lets out a long sigh. He stole that memory from me, all right? If you can find it for me, it will all come back, all of it. All right, so how do I enter the mirror? An almost palpable hunger fills her eyes, a yearning. Hold the mirror caster. You'll feel the tug immediately. Don't resist. Empty your mind and let the tides pull you into the mirror caster. She collects herself. Then watch him. Watch for the jack. When you see what he's done with it, pull your mind away from Tash's and tell me what you saw. Oh, and don't try to change anything, she says almost as an afterthought. Okay. So you said I shouldn't change anything in the mirror. What did you mean by that? Nothing serious. She says it as though speaking to an overly concerned child. She laughs suddenly. It's not like you can change the past, but I need you to learn a specific piece of information. If you change something, then you might go the wrong way. Okay? I wonder if I can exit out of this and save first. I'm going to try. Never mind, farewell. Fine. She raises a hand, turning already back to her workbench, already muttering to herself, her attention back on the strange device she was holding. Okay, good. Alright, quick save and then we'll go into the mirror. Alright. Yep, she's pacing the room again. Yep, I changed my mind, I did indeed. I'll do it. I'll enter the mirror for you. She plucks Tash's mirror caster from the table. She looks at it, at you, and back at the device. She licks her lips as if weighing her options. Then, before she can hesitate anymore, she slaps it into your hands. It's surprisingly heavy. Do it, she says, her voice heavy. Find the jack. Bring me my answers. You focus on the device, and you feel something tugging at your mind. Ooh, back in one of these again. Sweet. Everything is wrong. His body, yours now, hangs and clings like a wet cloak. The world is too bright for nighttime. Everything is too crisp. Distances too close. Edges too hard. Memories like mosquitoes buzz around your head, whizzing away before you can grab them. Hard-ridden inane heave their flanks and huff behind you. Like you, they've gone without rest for too long. And there's Matkina. Matkina as drawn by a pandering portraitist. Too soft, too fresh, too pretty. All wrong. On the wastes, you see the light of campfires, and in the humble village before you, a bigger, brighter fire burns. It's a pyre. Inside, a body that's too large burns too slowly. Greasy coils of smoke rise into the night. Villagers encircle the bonfire, wailing and tearing at their hair and skin. The headman's rough voice continues the ritual. From exile, you are released. Among the mourners, some echo, You are released. He throws a handful of powder onto the fire, metal salts, perhaps, and a spray of shining embers rises into the night, gold mostly, some green, some purple. They float out toward the plains, fading among the stars and campfires. From wrath you are released, they echo him again. Matkina puts her hand on your shoulder, less for support than to keep you from interrupting. Okay. So, would this be considered changing things by speaking to her? Let's use perception, judging character, stare at the distant campfires, and try to see what they are. Okay, we use might for this? Alright, let's spend some points. Don't know if I succeeded or not. You squint your unnatural eyes and focus until the pyre, the village, everything else fades away. At last, the blurry campfires resolve into something crisper, and you can see the faint shadows of men around them. Men in long coats and broad hats, painstakingly cleaning their jezels and daggers. There are perhaps 100 of them. Matkina sees you staring and grunts. Sand Knights. From her tone, it's obvious that they're no friends of hers or yours. Okay? Try to remember who you are and why you're here. The memories buzz, and in the sound are flickers of meaning. You're Tash. When you call on the tides, you can destroy memories. You're a soldier under the command of someone called Paj Rakan. You're a cast-off. You were sent here for some thing. An object. But exactly what, you can't recall. There's something more to it. Something insistent, important, and endlessly elusive. No matter how hard you try, it becomes no clearer. Matkina, listen to me. We need to find the Jock and protect your memories. Find the what? Matkina stares at you dumbfounded, and then shakes her head. Have a little respect, Tash. This is my home. We're here to save people I've known for years. A moment later she adds, not to mention the only danger to memories around here is you, Tash. Try your tidal surge on me, and I'll burn those fancy eyes right out of your skull. There's a smile on her face, like this isn't the first time Tash has teased her, or that she's promised a grisly fate in response. Yeah. Matkina, this isn't a joke. You sent me here. Now there's no laughter in her hard glare, and for a moment, she truly looks like the woman who sent you here. Enough, Tash, she hisses. They are mourning a murdered man over there, and him, she points at the headman. He as good as raised me. I know these people. This means something to me, even if the whole world and everything wrong with it is just a barking joke to you. She looks away from you and back into the pyre. What's going on here? Matkina answers without looking your way. Her eyes are locked on the fire and the flesh inside it. It's what they do when one of the hill people dies. Never a burial, always upward. Plains people, like me, we can bring kindling and weep, but we're forbidden to join the chant. After a pause, she adds, I never got used to the smell of it, even when they burnt juniper or balsam. It's worst at the end. She shrugs. When it's done, there's no more wailing. For them, it really is a release. She looks thoughtful, but says no more. Okay, well, wait until it's finished. As the body burns and the mourners chant, you wait in the shadows at the edge of the village. At last, the corpse is consumed, and the headman gives a final cry. To the stars above, you are released. The villagers echo him, then drift away, leaving him alone beside the smoldering pyre. Matkina, with a hiss and a gesture, leads you over. He sniffs the air at the sound of your approach and, with a broad smile, calls out, Kinna. His eyes are large, milky marbles. He puts hands on her shoulders. You return in unpleasant times. She touches his cheek. I return because the times are unpleasant, Ning. Without another word, the three of you leave the fire and enter Ning's dark hut. Ning's home is humble and small, hardly furnished and wholly undecorated. On entering, he lowers his weary bulk onto a hassock and gestures toward smaller cushions for you and Matkina, then begins without preamble. They hung him from a tree, old Garb. They took their daggers to him, called it pruning. Blind to the other's expressions, he has become oblivious to his own, and he wears his pain and anger nakedly. With a grunt, he continues. They sent him home by skimmer, along with the compact they'd made to the plains people. He waves at the crumpled sheet of paper on the floor. Tick read it to me. They've promised to put an end to our menace, Kinna. He shakes his head. Why, we've always paid the blood price for whatever harm we've done. You know that. They know that. Yes, McKenna says softly. But the Sand Knights won't take shins. You know that. He grunts. The militia is here to help, Ning. You are who we stand for. The small, the threatened, the hunted. That's who we are too. She takes his hand. Come away. If you tell the knights you're going, they won't force a fight. They have bigger battles ahead of them, believe me. This is our place, Kinna. Paj reckon will give you a home. Trust her. Nang is silent. Let's read the crumpled note. You unfold the compact sent by the Sand Knights. The writing is neat, plain, small, and seems to go on in tightly stacked lines. In essence, it is a vow to safeguard the villages and towns of the Verksulian waste from the menace in Colne village. The knights promise that they will undertake steps to assure that the killers in Colne village never harm anyone again. Extermination is never mentioned, merely implied. Beneath the Knight Marshal's chop are signatures from various burghers, mayors, and elders of towns and villages on the waste. The knights ask nothing in return from them. The signatures vow nothing. They merely endorse, justifying whatever the knights undertake. Alright. I think I'm not supposed to do anything. They said not to try to change, so I'm just going to say nothing. Matkina glances at you in frustration, clearly expecting you to help her make the pitch. Listen to me, Nang. Paj reckons has set aside land for all of you, deep inside our territory. You'll be safe. It's not so simple, he answers, not so easy. Plains people cannot understand. Matkina hisses in frustration and gives you another look. It seems she is hoping you can move the stubborn old fool. Okay. I guess we'll use some persuasion then. The only time it's too late to start a new life is when you're dead. Give your people a chance to survive. Okay, guess we'll spend one of our last 3 points here. Ning nods slowly. You're right, of course. Even if you got the manners of a Uriel marauder. After a minute, he turns his blind eyes to Matkina. But we can't go without the Jack. The what? Matkina asks. Up the hill, behind the gate. The cave's been sealed for generations. Inside is the Jack. It's what helps us keep our worst instincts inside. If we leave its song. He trails off, gesturing to the pyre outside. After a pause, he leans in, whispers in Matkina's ear. Now, he says, you alone of the plains people know how to open the gate. Okay. You work your way up the terraced hillside, leaving Ning to make his case to his people. In the distance, you see the Sand Knights are on the move, riding hard toward Koln village. Ning will need to make his case to them too. When you arrive at the cave and its huge ancient gateway, Matkina shakes her head. For years I've wondered about this, she says. The hill people tell a fable that the first men and women came out of here. They said the gate would only open when it was time for people to disappear. She shrugs. One way to keep kids from poking around and disturbing the Jack, I guess. Something she said strikes your subconscious, and your memories buzz like angry wasps. And I think that we will need to leave it there for now, friends. We will continue on this path in the next video, and until next time, be excellent to each other.